Hello, welcome to Gurukul's Cat 100 series, a series that's designed specifically to take you from your study room to the corporate boardroom. I am Prady Sharma and this is Verbal Mastery with Prady.
Hello and welcome back to day 95 of our 100 days to CAT test series. Now, we've gotten 5 VA questions for you today. In case you want to take this up as a test, all you've got to do is go on to www.thegurukul.org.in and sign up for our 100 days to CAT test series. If you want to follow along with this video, then this is your first question. Pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to move into the second question. This is your second question. Pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to move into the third question. Now this is the third question. Pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to move into the fourth question. This is your fourth question. Pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to move into the fifth question. Now this is the last question of the video. Pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're looking at the solutions for all these questions. Now the first question is a Para Jumble type of a question. The first sentence says the challenge for such democracies is to allow for inequalities while citizens from the various classes can see themselves as parties to a social contract of common good. Okay, so the first question that comes to my mind is what kind of democracies are we talking about? Okay, so there's some challenge, but for what kind of a democracies? A great deal has lately been made about widening inequality in America and its various effects not only on the poor but on those struggling to remain in the middle class. So this somehow seems like an introduction because it's very independent. It's talking about a topic by itself. It's not relying on one so far. So let's see if 3 and 4 give some kind of an additional impact onto this, or does this rely on 3 and 4? Okay. So 3, yet modern democracies accept market economies that introduce disparity in wealth and power as in the class differences that go with them. Okay, so he says yet they accept, yet these modern democracies accept something. So what was before that yet? Because yet is a conjunction, right? So what comes before that yet? What's that idea before yet? None of 1 or 2 come before 3. So let's look at 4. Unlike aristocracies, modern liberal democracies are designed to avoid the rule of the few who have a monopoly on the wealth and power. Now, what happens here? Here he's saying that unlike some other types of governments, unlike aristocracies, these type of governments, modern liberal democracies, which is the same as this, they're supposed to be doing X, Y, Z, yet they're not able to do it. So 4 and 3 kind of go together, right? Now I know that 2 is a very good starting, and now for my last question about what are these such democracies, these such democracies could very well be the modern democracies. So 1 becomes a very nice ending for me. So the best possible answer for this para jumble would be 2, 4, 3 and 1. Now let's go to the second question. The second question again is a para jumble type of a question. Over here the first sentence says to make it work he had to leave gaps missing in the elements, or gaps which are the missing elements, and in 1871 he used the patterns of the table to predict the properties of the elements that might fill some of them. Okay, fair enough. The first question that comes to my mind is who is this he that we are talking about? Okay, and what kind of a predictions did he make? Right, so these are the 2 questions that come to my mind when I'm looking at this first sentence. So clearly, maybe this is not my introduction sentence. Second one, Dmitry Mendeleev, a Russian chemist, devised the periodic table 150 years ago. Again, this looks like an extremely independent statement. Okay, so this could probably be my introduction. Anyways, let me keep this aside. 3. Gallium was discovered in 1875, scandium in 1879 and germanium in 1886. All 3 matched Mendeleev's predictions. Okay, now when he's talking to me about these predictions or Mendeleev's predictions, these are probably the predictions that he had right in the table. He's left some gaps because he's predicted the properties which were filled over here, right? So I'm almost sure that 1 comes before 3. Now what about 4? It assigned positions to 63 elements known in his day, arranged in order of increasing atomic weight and aligned by similar chemical characteristics. Fair enough. Now my question is, what is this it? Now, this it could very well be the periodic table that we are talking about. Yes. So, the best order would be 2, then 4, then we could come to 3, then we could come to 1, and then we could go for 3. Wherein he had left some things, he has predicted, and those predictions were met in 3. So the best answer is 2, 4, 1 and 3. Now let's go to the third question. Third question is again a para-jumble type of a question. So over here in the first sentence they say, as in most of the rich world, 1 or 2 companies dominate Britain's markets for online search, advertising, social media and phone operating systems. Okay, now here I see that there's some sort of a comparison going on, right? So as in most of the rich world, these 1 or 2 companies are doing something. Okay, great. But digital markets are also highly concentrated. Okay, fair enough. Now here I see that digital markets are highly concentrated, and probably that concentration, okay, that 1 or 2 companies actually taking up the whole thing is shown to me in 2. So maybe 2 is linked to 1. But what is this but doing over here? That's what I want to figure out first. Britain's dozen most digital intensive industries generate 16% of its GDP and 10% of employment. Okay, so here I got to know that Britain has a lot of share amongst lot of different industries. Yes, but digital markets are also highly concentrated, as in most of the world, 1 or 2 companies are dominating. So I can clearly see that there's some kind of a link between 3, 2 and 1 when we are introducing that, okay, there's a lot of GDP and employment that's coming out of digital intensive industries, but those are very, very concentrated. That means they're in the hands of a few, and that's been expanded in 1. Now what about 4? Is this going to be the starting or the ending? That's the only question that we are left with. The experts agree that there are benefits of big tech. Its products are widely popular. Now, after we've talked about these 3, it makes a lot of sense for us to put this here at the ending, because here he has elaborated the problem and this looks like a conclusion. This talking to me about what the experts agree. So, the best possible answer would be 3, 2, 1 and 4. Now, let's go to the fourth question. Now, this fourth question again is a para-jumble type of a question. Over here, the first sentence is, but I wonder about the idea that Britain doesn't value intellectuals. Okay, now why does he wonder about this idea? Why is he in confusion, or why is he thinking about this idea? We don't know. Radio 4 seems to have a slot at 12:30 every day reserved for people who do not know the difference between being funny and half-witted. Okay, fair enough. I do not understand much from this statement except that, okay, some people don't know what's funny and what is not. Okay, third statement says the BBC's fondness for second-rate comedians is one of the greatest puzzles of our age. Okay, this kind of clarifies a little. Okay, why? Because now we are seeing that there's a channel which is extremely fond. That means they like second-rate comedians, right? Now, what are these second-rate comedians? Probably in this passage we can talk about any comedian with these characters being a second-rate comedian, as in someone who thinks that they're being funny but they're actually half-witted, right? So being funny and half-witted, right? So these second-rate comedians have been elaborated in 2, which is probably why he wonders if Britain doesn't value their intellectuals. Now what about 4? The British have built palaces for at least some of the most prominent examples of the species. Which species are we talking about? Okay, did we build these colleges for comedians, second-rate comedians? Probably not, right? In the form of Oxford and Cambridge colleges. So probably when we talk about these big colleges, this species could be the intellectuals, which clearly says that there's a 1 to 4 connection. Yes, I wonder about the idea that Britain doesn't care about its intellectuals or doesn't value its intellectuals, but there's some contrary evidence over here. So the best possible answer now becomes 3, which is the very, very starting, 2, an idea that's elaborating it, 1, it's taking forward into the case of intellectuals, and 4, that's giving me the complete evidence. So the best possible answer is 3, 2, 1 and 4. Now let's go to the last question of the day. Now this is an odd man out question. So let's quickly go through the theme differentiation. Let's see if we can actually figure out the answer. If not, we'll go with the ParaJumble approach. 1. Digital marketing holds power to turn your presence into a web sensation, thereby providing you an advantage over the ones not using digital platforms for marketing. Great. So this talks to me about advantages of digital marketing. Right? Great. Second one says, when managed effectively, it gives laser focused control over where and how an organization spends its money. Okay. Now, what is this it? This it is probably nothing but digital marketing. Fair enough. With this cost-effective budget, you can easily target your desired market through various online strategized platforms. Okay. Now see, both of these sentences talk about budget of digital marketing, right? They don't really talk about the advantages, right? What about 4? Digital marketing allows business to compete with a much smaller advertising budget. Again, this is also talking about the budget only. What about the 5th one? It costs lesser than traditional media marketing. Again, I'm looking at the involved costs all over here, right? It costs lesser than traditional media marketing, and costs are more easily amortized over time to deliver a better return on your investment. So again, here also I see that this is all about the budget. So even without us having to go towards a ParaJumble approach to solve this odd man out, quickly by theme differentiation itself, we can say that 1 is the correct answer. Why? Because it's the only one that's talking about advantages of digitalization, whereas the other 4 are talking about the budgets involved or the costs involved in digital marketing. Now, if you watch this video till here, please not forget to hit that like button. That motivates us a lot to keep bringing these videos for you every single day. Practice hard with these 100 days to CAT questions. There's also a series of Quant and LRDI playlists that can help you crack CAT 2025 this year. Subscribe to this channel and I'll see you in the next video.
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.